Well, this is a variety kid, so in case you're wondering about my hair, I was in the swimming pool. But anyways, today we're going to talk about 13 things I'd change about the 2019 iPhones. Now, I mean, I know it's a bit early, but however, I mean, I don't really know what to do. I mean, I actually have a Digital Pie video thought about. Anyways, let's get started. So first of all, I would upgrade the display. So, okay, alright, so so on the iPhone XS, I would keep the resolution and pixel density the same, and all three would have the same screen sizes at 5.85 inches for the small, for the standard one, the 6.06 inch for the budget one, and 6.46 inch for the Plus model. But however, so if I haven't said it yet, the standard model would have, would stay the same at 458 ppi with its same resolution, while the iPhone 11R would have would be upgraded. I would upgrade it to 960p, which would give it a PPI between 375 ppi and 381 ppi. I would upgrade its contrast ratio from 1400 to 1 to somewhere between 22,000 to 1 and 3500 to 1. And on the iPhone 10 and on the iPhone 11 Max, I would upgrade the contrast ratio from 1 million to 1 to 1.5 million to 1, and I would upgrade the display from to a 1366p up from 1242p, which I can't exactly remember the horizontal resolution, but I know it'll have a PPI somewhere between 501 ppi and 507 ppi, depending on the exact resolution and exact screen size, the exact number. Yeah, and I mean, if Apple hasn't done this yet, I would allow I would allow a maximum brightness of 550 nits instead of 500 nits without even without auto brightness on. And I don't know if I would raise the and for all three iPhones, and I don't know if I would raise the brightness with the maximum brightness with auto brightness on. For the 11 and 11 Max and maybe the 11R, I would add an actual 120 hertz display. So the 10, 10R, 10S, and 10X Max had a 120 hertz display, but it wasn't a full 120 hertz display. They have a 120 hertz sample rate, but they still ran on a regular 60 hertz refresh rate. However, I would make it where at least the 11 and 11 Max have run with a 120 hertz refresh rate. Number two is battery size. So I would make the iPhone 11 somewhere between 2,777 milliamps and 2,937 milliamps, up from 2,658 milliamps. Yes, I am. And the iPhone XR from somewhere between 3,052 and 3,149 milliamps, up from 2,942 milliamps. And the iPhone 11 Max somewhere between 3,286 milliamps and 3,575 milliamps, up from 3,174 milliamps. Number three is I would do an A13 with a new name besides Bionic, with 6 gigabytes of RAM on the iPhone 11 Max. I would have a 6 high-efficiency cores instead of 4 high-efficiency, or instead of 4 high-efficiency cores. Will make battery life even better. Also increase the clock speed from 2.49 gigahertz to somewhere between 2.66 gigahertz and 3 gigahertz. And I would also oh yeah, and I would also include 4 gigabytes of RAM on the iPhone 11R instead of 3 gigabytes of RAM. Number 4 is cameras. So I would include a 14 megapixel camera with an f1.6 aperture instead of a 12 megapixel camera with an f1.8 aperture on the iPhone 11 and 11 Max, while the iPhone 11R would stick with the 12 megapixel f1.8 aperture camera. And And I would add a wide-angle lens to the iPhone 11 Max while adding a telephoto lens to the iPhone 11R. So the iPhone 11R would have 2 cameras, and the iPhone 11 Max would have 3 cameras. On the iPhone 11R, I would only give 1.5x optical zoom instead of 2x optical zoom, and it wowould have an f2.6 f-stop. Would add optical image stabilization to the iPhone XR's telephoto lens, while the iPhone 11 and 11 Max would have an f2.2 f-stop on their telephoto lens. Down from f2.4, which will be an improvement and will make it work in more low light situations. Which that also means that portrait mode on the rear camera will work on things other than human faces, and I will put all 5 portrait lighting effects on the iPhone XR's rear on the iPhone 11R's rear camera instead of just the 3. Wide-angle lens, I would make the lens somewhere between 8 and 14 megapixels. And I would make the f-stop somewhere between an f2.0. There would be 4K at 120 in addition to 24, 30, and 60. There would be the 1080p video frame rates would be the same, while 720p would have the addition of 480 frames per second video. While the front camera would be a 10 megapixel for the iPhone 11 and 11 Max, while it would be an 8 megapixel for the iPhone 11R. I would either do an f1.8 or f2.0 f-stop for the iPhone 10, 11, and 11 Max, while I would do an f2.0 f-stop for the iPhone 11R, and there would in addition to 720p at 30 and 1080p at 30 and 60, I would add in 1440p video at 60 frames per second. And at least on the iPhone 11 and 11 Max, I would add in, for photos, I would add an optical zoom up to digital zoom up to 3x and optical zoom up to 2x. 5 is reduction of bezels and smaller notch. So on the iPhone 11R, I would decrease the bezel size from 0.44 inches to 0.37 inches. And on the iPhone 11 and 11 Max, the bezels would decrease from 0.34 to 0.24 inches. And there would also be a smaller notch on all of them. Number 6 is storage. So so what I would do is I would for the 2018 iPhones, I would discontinue the highest model, meaning that for the 10s and 10s Max there would be 64 and 256, and for the iPhone 10 and for the iPhone XR there would be 64 and 128, while each of their successors would have double the storage. So there would be 128 and 512 on the iPhone 11 and 11 Max, and there would be 128 and 256 on the iPhone 11R. For the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus, I would discontinue the 256 and replace it with a 128. 11 and 11 Max would start at $999 and $1,099 respectively, with their 512 models being $250 more expensive. The iPhone 11R would be $749 for the 128 gigabyte model and $849 for the 256 gigabyte model. The model still currently being sold would be dropped by $150, because they're starting at less. While the 128 iPhone 8 and 8 Plus will be $499 and $549. 7 is better water resistance, and I might do stronger glass. Now, if I do stronger glass, which I might not do it on any of them, I would I'm not sure whether or not I would do it on the iPhone on the iPhone or just the iPhone 11 and 11 Max. But however, for water resistance, I would increase the 11R's water resistance from 1 meter to 1.25 meters, which is 1.2126 inches. Whereas with the iPhone 11 and 11 Max, I would increase the length underwater from either 30 minutes to 45 minutes or an hour, while also giving you the ability to use the displays underwater as long as it's not greater than 2 meters underwater. While with the iPhone 11R, I still won't make it liquid resistant to the to other liquids besides waters, unlike the iPhone XS and XS Max. Number 8 is in-display fingerprint scanner. So I would only do this on the iPhone 11 and 11 Max. And actually, I was going to say that with the in-display fingerprint scanner, if the phone lands on the front, the in-display fingerprint scanner is most likely to break. But however, I'll make the in-display fingerprint scanner durable, and I will make it at least faster than like phones like the OnePlus 6T. I'm not sure if it'll be faster than phones like the Galaxy S10, but however, I will make it faster than at least like the standard fingerprint scanner speed is. Number 9 is better speakers. So I would add the ability for both of the bottom speakers to be used at the same time. With this setting, however, I would allow you to turn that setting off in case like 3 speakers is too loud for you. But, and I would also make the speakers somewhere between 10 and 40% louder. Number 10 is the 18-watt fast charger in the box. So, actually, I'll also include a different, port. We won't go to USB-C because actually Apple won't ditch anything that, that isn't their own, while replacing it for something else. And I would also add faster fast charging, somewhere between 33 and 39 watts, and this is for all 3 iPhones. Number 11 is faster LTE. So I would increase the LTE speed on the iPhone 11 and 11 Max to somewhere between 1.25 gigabytes and 1.5 gigabytes. While on the iPhone 11R, I would increase it somewhere between 700 megabytes and 950 megabytes, up from 1 gigabyte and 450 megabytes. Add 5G on any of them, and at least for the iPhone 11R, I wouldn't add Wi-Fi 6. Number 12 is better headphones. So I would make it where the headphones in the box offer better quality music. And number 13 is a more precise battery icon when below 10% battery. I was just thinking about the reason number. But however, if it's below 10% battery, at least for the 11 and 11 Max, I'll make it where it says I'll make it where there is 1 decimal digit after the single digit of the battery percentage. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to leave a like if you did. It was kind of hard. And and if I haven't said it at the beginning, I know I said it was slightly early. I might be making another video today. I don't know. It depends on whether or not I have enough time. But anyways, bye.